Which rib do you think will reign supreme? No wrap, wrapped in foil, or wrapped in butcher paper? Let's find out. On today's video, the first thing we're going to do is trim up 3 slabs of St. Louis style ribs. So I've already trimmed these up. If you need to know how to trim St. Louis style ribs, there's a video down below. I'll drop it in just so everybody can review it. So now that you've got your ribs trimmed, the first thing I want to do is get some seasoning on them. So in this video, we're going to take these ribs, cook them identical the same on our Traeger, and we're going to roll 1 no wrap, 1 in foil, and 1 in butcher paper. We're going to put it to the ultimate test, and we're going to see which rib is better in my opinion. So hold on to your pants. Let's get started. All right, the first thing I want to do is flip these ribs over. I'm going to start on the bottom side. I'm not even using a binder today. They're still pretty wet and moist out here. They've been laying out about 15 minutes, thus getting everything set up. I'm going to come back with a little bit of a medium coat of that garlic jalapeno rub on the bottom side. If you've got a favorite AP style rub, be sure to use it. Now today I'm using my sweet barbecue rub. This is the one that started it all for me. It's the original. The color's pretty, it's won me a lot of money, and the flavor's not bad either. Now you want to get all that patted in. It's up to you if you want to let it set here a few minutes to let it sweat in. It's completely up to you. If not, you can roll on to the other side, and that's what I'm gonna do. You can see very much rub don't fall off of that rib. So yeah, it may need to sweat in, but it's not hurting anything going ahead with your process either. All right, I'm gonna come back with a good base coat of that garlic jalapeno rub, and then I'm gonna lay down another layer of that sweet rub. There's nothing like the smell of jalapeno in the morning. All right, we're gonna let these hang out about 5 minutes while my grill's coming up to temp. I'm firing up my Traeger Ironwood XL. It's running on roll oak charcoal pellets. Like I said, 5 minutes, we're gonna get these ribs on. All right, our ribs are sweated in. Our Traeger's running at 275 degrees. Let's get the lid open. Look at all that smoke from those roll oak charcoal pellets. Now, as you can see, our slabs have sweated in. I'm gonna go ahead and get them up here. All right, I've got 3 racks on. It doesn't matter now. We'll choose which one's gonna be which when we wrap. So garlic jalapeno and sweet rub, remember, we're gonna go 1 no wrap, 1 in foil, and 1 in butcher paper, and we're gonna see which one's the ultimate rib. I'm not gonna do anything but spritz these ribs periodically until I wrap them. I'll check back in on them in a little over an hour. Bags then kind of got a little faded from storing them down here below my grill with the sun running on them, but that don't change the flavor of these pellets. Now we're ready for a long burn time. All right, our ribs have been cooking 1 hour and 15 minutes. Look at that. Nice and pretty, pushing out a little bit on top there. I'm gonna get them spritzed. Keep letting them go. All right, all of our St. Louis style ribs have been cooking 2 hours. Let's get in here and take a look at them. As you can see, we're already starting to get a little bit of bone draw back here on that one, and a little bit on this one, just a little bit. We're gonna take these ribs right now. I'm gonna take this 1 rack right here. I'm gonna go ahead and lay it on my cutting board and wrap it up in foil. Now I want 1 more for the butcher paper. I'm gonna go this one for the butcher paper, and I'm gonna leave this one alone, no wrap at all. Okay, just to keep this fair, my other ribs on the grill, I'm not gonna put anything in this wrap. Just because I've got a no wrap rib on the grill, it's not gonna get anything else. I wanna go ahead now, and I'm not gonna put anything in this foil because I'm not gonna put anything in the butcher paper. So I'm gonna get this rib wrapped up. All right, now I'm gonna take my butcher paper rib and get it up here. I've kind of got it lined up. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna roll this thing over, roll it over again. All right, now that's gonna be laying meat side down. I'm gonna wrap that around. Turn around and wrap that like that. Now, I'm gonna get both of these ribs back on the grill and we're gonna look at them in 1 hour and 15 minutes. All right, back on the grill with that rib with no wrap. All right, now that we get everything on, let's get them down there, lay them down. Now I'm gonna take my water bottle and I'm gonna spritz that rib there. And get my grill lid shut. I'm gonna set a timer for 1 hour and 15 minutes to check these for tenderness, and we'll be back. All right, our ribs have been on our Traeger Ironwood XL for 3.5 hours. We've had them wrapped, the two that we did wrap in butcher paper and foil for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Now here's the rack that we didn't wrap. You can see the bone pull back. You can see that starting to break. I'm gonna say that rib's probably ready to go by feeling it, okay? Now I'm gonna get in here and unwrap this one rib. You can see that it's rendered. Big bones is kind of pulling through. Well, that rib's done too. I'm not even gonna temp it. If you want me to temp it, let me go ahead and just see for giggles. There you see it, 204, 205. I may have started going a little deep. So let's get that over here. And I'm gonna say that this crown jewel is done too. All right. Let's go in here and poke a little bit of that in between that. Look at that, pushing 200. Woo! This butcher paper is just a little bit behind, but I can tell y'all, that rib is tender. That rib is tender, it's wanting to pop through. Let's lay it over here. Let's get our grill lid shut. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off in the shutdown mode. Now let's get over here and I'm gonna let our ribs rest for just a few minutes and then we're gonna slice into them and try them and see how the bite is in all three of these. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of shocked today too that all three of these ribs come off at the same time. You can see the one wrapped in foil and the one with no wrap was almost identical in temperatures, and the one in butcher paper was only 3 to 4 or 5 degrees behind. So really can't complain either way on any of those either. Let's get over here and try them and see if we can tell a difference. All right, now that our ribs have cooled down, I'm gonna go ahead and get these ones out of the butcher paper here. Huh. Woo, look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Now, just by feeling these, I will say these butcher paper ribs could have maybe went another 15 or 20 minutes. I mean, we've been sitting out here, like I said, about 15 minutes. Here's the no wrap ribs. They feel good the same way. And then here is the wrap ribs, of course. And look at that. Nothing in the wrap but that rib. I didn't put anything in it. So no wrap, wrap in foil, wrap in butcher paper. Okay, it's hot as Hades out here. We've got these ribs off the grill. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Today I cooked at 275 degrees because I love cooking at that when I'm gonna wrap. One thing I will notice while we were taking some pictures out here, I really feel like if we would have cooked at 225 to 250, the no wrap rib would look probably a little bit better. The appearance wise of it looks a little bit darker than the other ribs, of course, because that was in the wrap and that was in the butcher paper, but the tenderness, the bone pullbacks there. So let's just see if it still is flavorful and has a lot of moisture like the other ribs. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut down in between two bones. Let's get this rib out of here. That rib still got good moisture to it. I can tell the texture is going to be a little bit different. Of course, that rib there's got the most moisture out of the bunch because it was wrapped. The one in butcher paper here still got a lot of moisture. All right, so first off, I'm going to try the one with no wrap. All right, let me get in here and try a bite. Meat-wise, it is juicy, it is tender. Bark-wise, has a little bit more of a crunch. You can feel those strands from that pork belly on that because these are St. Louis style ribs. But this is a great eating rib. I might would have took care of it a little bit more, like I said, cooked at about 250 degrees, maybe 225, but I really can't complain about the no wrap rib. Really good. Now, I'm gonna do the one with the wrap, all right? Just what I thought. Color, moisture, look at that. Perfect. Now on these ribs, I didn't sauce them, I didn't do anything, just straight dry rub. That's a heck of a rib right there. If it had a little bit of sauce, I'd turn that in a competition box. All right, now let's try this rib here wrapped in butcher paper. It's definitely 1, 2, 3 for me. You can tell this right here has a little bit more moisture. The bark is not as tough as this or as stringy, but still really good eating rib. This would be a perfect way to do a dry style rib. Come back and dust it with a little bit of dry rub once you're done. Be a perfect way to do it. The same way with this one, pull it out of the wrap, allow it to dry a little bit, dust it with a little bit of dry rub. Either recipe or either technique that you decide to go with, you can't go wrong cooking a rib that way. But I will say, don't do it in the middle of July or you'll be sweating out here like me. This rib though, really you can taste the stringiness a little bit more from not being wrapped. That's the really biggest difference. Moisture is good in it. The texture is a little bit different than the other two. It seems like this has the worst texture. This has the best texture because it retains more moisture. And of course, this would be the second best texture. But either rib you want to go with, no harm, no foul. You're going to eat good either way. If you like what we're doing on our channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow along with your friends. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, and YouTube. I'll see you next week with another video.